On this episode of the Neo Marketing Podcast, we talk about learning from expert execution. Welcome to the weekly Neo Marketing Podcast, featuring one half of the Golden Group C-Suite, Kyle Golding, and Pritch Pritchard, APR PRSA Fellow. Hey Pritch, good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too, Kyle. New spaces, man. Nice digs.
Here we are. We're in the new podcast studio at the Golden Group office, which is at the 3810 project. A great place. It's a manufacturing incubator and startup space. And we're partnering with them. Now that 1219 Creative has gone away, we're partnering with them to help them kind of realize this space. We're going to be doing some co-working things with them, some events and things like that. And we have this, what we're calling this room the Content Factory.
Yeah.
Sarah Zubair and I, we're here every day, and we're generating content out of this space. We're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, absolutely, for good reason too.
Speaking of content marketing, today's topic for the Neo Marketing Podcast is exactly that, content marketing. So it's really easy to, there's a billion things out there in the world, including the Neo Marketing Podcast, where people talk about how to do content marketing and why.
Right.
And how to kind of adapt it for what you're doing, right? Every industry, every business is different. Every client's different.
So the idea is you take notes, you listen to the podcast, you take notes, but wait, there's more.
But try it. You got to match that with your talents, what you're trying to accomplish, etc. Right? So that's a roadmap, right? But is it really a roadmap? These are suggestions.
Right.
My advice for everyone listening on the podcast and on the video as well is to take it one step further. And the people that the podcast you're listening to, the video shows you're watching, the people that are generating content that you really appreciate, to see how they executed on their content to get in front of you. If you liked it, you were drawn to it, you subscribed, then why can't you use that?
Right. So reverse engineering.
Absolutely, reverse engineering.
Yeah.
Back what successful people are doing. It's the same thing that's been done since the beginning of business, right?
Right.
Finding what someone else is doing in a similar or even exactly the same industry, but reverse engineering it back to you and your precepts, your skills, your talents. But it's not enough to just listen to advice people are giving. You can watch every single one of the New Marketing Podcast and all the other podcasts that are very similar, telling you how to do content marketing.
Right.
But it's as valuable, in my opinion, to also see how we got this podcast and this video in front of you, the viewer.
Okay. Any tips on where they can start to kind of reverse engineer that?
Well, for sure is always go to home base, right? So for us, the New Marketing Podcast lives on the Golden Group website, thegoldengroup.com. So go there, look at the page, and then look at all of the arms, all of the avenues, all the channels that we use to distribute it. So there is our social media channels, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're also on Spreaker, which is for audio product distribution. I'm about to do a SoundCloud for us as well.
Sweet.
So right there, you could go and see not only what channels we're using, but if you've heard us talk at all about content marketing, you can't just blast the same message on every single channel at the same time all day long. It's not effective. So look at how we adapt and change the marketing of the Neo Marketing Podcast for each channel. More visual for Instagram, 1-minute videos, long form videos for Facebook, etc. LinkedIn.
Right.
See how we're using the channels for this podcast, and if you're doing something similar, you can adapt that for yours. Also, if the audience that we're attracting or that we're attempting to attract that we talk about, which are marketing and business professionals, CEOs, business owners, startups, etc. If that's an audience that you're interested in, maybe you're not a marketing person, maybe you're a CPA or an attorney or someone who does something completely different in that supply chain, you can take what we're doing on the marketing side and attack that audience in the same way we are, using the same channels and the same techniques we are.
Yep. It would seem fairly simple on the surface of it. Okay, I'm taking notes of the podcast. I'm reverse engineering things. Don't try this at home, kids. You've heard that. You've heard that expression. So how complicated is it really for somebody to put all of this stuff together?
The great thing is it's as complicated or uncomplicated as you need it to be, and as you need it to be to get started.
Yeah.
You could start with the basics. You could start with simply doing your show and simply putting a link up on your social media and creating a place on your website, or if you're one of those people that uses Facebook as your website, then creating a place, a tab for your podcast or video series or blog to live.
So one platform at a time.
Start small, start what you know.
Yeah.
Start what you can do, and then add on and get better at it as you move on. The worst thing you can do is not do anything at all because you don't have everything.
Right.
Got to start somewhere. So the key to that is start somewhere, start small, and then you'll trial and error. There's a lot of A/B testing. You got to look at those analytics. You got to figure out what's working, what's not. Change things up. Just because you find something that works for you, as far as production-wise, don't stick to the same post the same day every time. Change those things up, and then look at your analytics and see if you had any response difference.
Right. Good advice.
At the end of the day, marketing is a fluid dynamic.
Absolutely.
It never stops, and it's always changing. So if you're always looking at what you're learning from it, you'll get better at it every time.
There you go.
And if you do work in marketing, your marketing, how you execute on yours, can prove to your next potential client how well you can do it for them.
Great advice.
There you go,
Thanks,
folks.
Kyle.
So we want to hear from you guys. We want to know what questions that we can answer for you. What input do you need? What would you like us to discuss on the Nina Marketing Podcast? Also, what guests do you want us to get on? And if you're someone who thinks you should be on, let us know.
Come on down.
There it is, folks. Until next time, good luck.
Ciao.